This tablet has a massive battery, a big screen and really loud speakers. Plus, Redmi has launched a keyboard and a smart pen with this tab that make for a really good productivity and creativity package. But who is this creativity package for? You will find the answer to that and to all your other questions in our Redmi Pad 2 Pro detailed review. So let's go. The first and most asked question about a tab is how is the display and what's it best for? Netflix, gaming, study or all? Short answer, this is a good screen for most of the usage you can throw at it. It is big, bright, smooth and the tablet is fairly lightweight, which means you can use it in bed as well. But there are some conditions to this being a good screen. This is a metal chassis so it feels premium to hold, and the back also has a sleek finish with this texture running along the side. Coming to the front, again, there are chunky bezels, but again they allow for a nice grip, and the 120Hz panel feels smooth and there is no noticeable lag in gaming either. But outdoors you need a good angle and some shade to work on this device. Direct sunlight can make it difficult to use outdoors, especially if you're watching something with a dark interface. But quality and specs wise, this is a 12.1-inch 2.5K Dolby Vision compatible screen and the usage experience has been positive in our testing. Plus, as a tablet, this has Hydro Touch feature, which means you can use it even with wet or moist fingers. There are also Dolby Atmos quad speakers which are really loud and clear at almost all volume levels. Now I say almost because there's some detail loss at full volume, but the next question we get asked is how does it perform and what is the performance best suited for? To answer that, let's quickly skim the specs. This has a Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 chip paired with 8GB RAM. Now, a smartphone with those specifications can smoothly multitask and go through the day with most apps without a hiccup. But it is slightly different, or let me say better, for tablets because the bigger build allows for more cooling space and the chip can be used to its full potential. Here too, Redmi Pad 2 Pro is great at handling office-based multitasking like Docs and Chrome in split screen or maybe YouTube and ChatGPT, and even support one or two apps in floating window format, making good use of the screen real estate. Now we played BGMI at max graphics and it handled that pretty well, and the benchmark scores are also pretty good and on your screen right now, telling us that this can handle AI and multitasking workloads fairly well. However, it can't run Red Dead Redemption 2, but something like Street Fighter 4 or WWE 2K25 runs smoothly. And I already know what you're thinking next. How's the battery, right? The 12,000 mAh cell can easily deliver 2+ days of battery backup on moderate use with screen refresh set to 60Hz. But since this was our testing, we also used it at max refresh rate. Even then, the battery lasts over 2 days and a full day of use is an easy ask. As for the charging speed, there's a 33-watt charger inside the box and it takes exactly 2 hours to get from 10% to 80% and then 30 to 40 more minutes to get a full charge if you're not using the device. That's decent given the kind of backup you get out of it once it is charged. But none of this would matter if we don't answer your questions about what are the top features of the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. So here goes. First and personal favorite, cycle-based reading mode, so you don't just get a warm yellowed out screen but are able to see colors, while this feature reduces eye strain smartly based on ambient lighting and apps. Second feature, again display related, ambient color sync. Slightly tweaks the colors based on ambient lighting. Very useful if you're using it under warm home lighting. Third one is Game Turbo or Game Space, which lets you tweak the touch smoothness and responsiveness for individual games. Very handy in something competitive like BGMI. Other features include this quick drag to floating window or drag to split screen gesture and the lock button in recent apps to keep any important apps open in the background. That said, this is running Android 15 with HyperOS. And before we get to the limitations, there are two more questions we need to answer. First, should you buy the keyboard cover for this tab? And secondly, should you buy the smart pen to accompany it? Starting with the keyboard, there's no magnetic connectivity here. It is a Bluetooth keyboard with a separate switch and a charging port for itself. But this is a decent sized keyboard, and thanks to the pad's big screen size, it doesn't feel cramped. However, I did miss a trackpad with this, and that's one of the biggest limitations that could make you feel like you need your laptop for certain tasks. Onto the Smart Pen now. There are no magnetic connections here either, but the pressure sensitivity is really good, and it is a responsive pen for the price. And with the Mi Canvas app, this is a solid creativity tool in the right hands. And mine though, I'm no Vincent van Gogh. Now, while these accessories are for sale separately, the keyboard case has a slot for the Smart Pen, so you can store it there neatly, which means the accessories do complement each other. And now coming back to the tablet, here are some quick pros and cons if you're planning to buy the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Starting with the pros first, this has a premium feeling metal build, the display is really good, and there are additional features like the cycle-based reading mode and the adaptive colors. It is a good chip and RAM configuration for daily use, multitasking and some gaming. User interface is also fluid and free from any hiccups. Connectivity is also pretty sorted as you get a headphone jack, USB-C charging. You also get a SIM plus microSD slot, which means you can use a data SIM or even use it as a secondary phone if you don't mind the size. Off to the cons side, cameras are not that good. A single rear camera and a single cam up front, but they're only good for occasional document scanning and video calling. You get portrait mode, but there's only 1080p 60fps video recording support, and they should have been better. There's also no magnetic connectivity to hold the Smart Pen in case you decide to skip the keyboard cover and only go for the... And now we're going to answer the most important question. Who should buy the Redmi Pad 2 Pro? If you're a student or someone with a lot of Excel or Google Sheets work, then the Pad 2 Pro plus keyboard combo can be a decent daily driver. For creators, you can use video editing apps on the big screen and get the Smart Pen for sketching and doodling, and this tablet won't disappoint you. But I won't recommend this for video conferencing or for those who want a tablet with a good camera system. And that's our take on the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Send this review to someone planning to buy an Android tablet right now. My name is Manik Beri. You're watching Gadgets 360, and we'll meet in the next video with more cool tech.